Hi guys, so I'm going to read Spectre number 2. So this was published in February of 1968. So the Spectre. Die Spectre. Again. And again. And again. The Spectre. Ha 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 ha. Ah. Stage magician Dirk Raleigh had a good thing going for him. While performing before an audience, they supplied him with a perfect alibi for the robberies simultaneously being committed off stage by his other self. And while Detective Jim Corrigan ran up against a stone wall trying to solve the impossible crimes, his own spectral self ran headlong into the thief, only to fall victim to his eerie powers. Story by Gardner Fox. Art by Neil Adams. Die Spectre. Again. Footfalls are a lonely sound on the deserted street in Gateway City, when the otherwise silent night is shattered by...
This is Stick-Up. Hand over your valuables or I shoot.
Shoot with what? You don't have a gun.
You want a gun? Presto! You have a gun.
Swift as is the action of the powerful holdout spring that shoots the gun into the hand of the hold-up man, even swifter is the hand of his victim as...
If you make like a magician, so can I. See? My hand is quicker than your gun.
A hand stabs through the air at the flying gun, and to complete the turnabout, it is the would-be robber who is now menaced.
You going to shoot me?
Suddenly, there is a burst of brilliance, followed by a gloved fist striking from behind.
That man, just exactly as I am. Except...
he has no face. What are you?
Look upon me closely, Dirk Raleigh.
As the dazed Dirk Raleigh stares in stark amazement, he sees a slow change come upon the featureless flatness of his rescuer's face.
Gaze upon my blank face. Give me an identity, and you'll see who I am.
You're
Me? But how? I'm your etheric self, Dirk Raleigh. Your emotional state, brought about by the intense fear of being killed, has at long last released this etheric body, which has always been a part of you. I breathe, I live. Farewell for now, Dirk Raleigh. I go to the ancient demon-haunted town of Arkham, to bathe in the evil emanations, which form a vicious vortex there, and gather strength. But we shall meet again.
Some nights later, the great vault of a Gateway City bank is looted, followed by the theft of the fabulous Soames Gems collection from a sealed chest, without breaking the seals.
There is no way for the vault to have been opened before the time mechanism released the bolts. The theft couldn't have taken place, but it did.
The chest was sealed with wax, and though the wax was unbroken, the jewels were somehow taken out of it.
Assigned to cover these impossible crimes, Detective Captain Jim Corrigan is stymied at every turn.
The gems have been stolen. which means there had to be a thief. It's up to the police to find him.
Not a clue. Absolutely nothing to go on. To Captain Corrigan's regular police duties has been added the assignment of chairman of the annual policeman's ball. It'll be a relief to take a break from that case. An evening with Mona, and I'll get a fresh start in the morning. Out of the night swoops the spirit sleuth, that ghostly guardian of goodness, he who fights evil and injustice across a world, the Spectre. Well, welcome home. I thought you were off on a case of your own, with the Justice Society.
I was, Jim, but the case was an exhausting one. I need a rest in our body.
The Spectre, given life by the mystic powers of a voice, which explained that his work was not yet done. The ghost of dead Jim Corrigan, slain by gangster Gat Benson, became a spirit being dedicated to the prevention of crime and to the apprehension of wrongdoers. When Detective Jim Corrigan was also raised from the dead to live again as his former self, there began a strange twin existence of man and spirit, united, yet disunited, both dedicated to stamping out evil. Wait, I'm going on a date with Mona Marcy. Couldn't you arrange to let us have some privacy?
Giving me the brush off, Jim. Okay. I'll leave you on your own, soon as I restore my psychic energies within you.
The door opens, and wealthy society woman Mona Marcy beams on the man who first entered her life, while investigating the death of Ace Chance. Mona, you look gorgeous. I should have told my other self about the impossible crimes case, but while he's inside me, he'll find out about it quickly enough. An hour later, at the benefit ball, Jim introduces Mona to the star performer of the evening. This is Dirk Raleigh, whose feats of magic will astonish, and, I hope, please our guests.
I've got to get going. Jim thinks those impossible crimes were the work of a clever criminal. But I sense they are the psychic manifestations of some spirit creature. No mortal man could have performed such deeds. Only a spirit body could have stolen the money and gems in that manner. I'll visit the scene of both crimes, seek out a clue to the culprit.
With Jim Corrigan's knowledge planted firmly in his own mind, the discarnate detective speeds to the vault of the Gateway City Bank.
Yes, the scent of eerie evil still lingers here. I'll spread a psychic light across the vault. Have it reveal where the thieving spirit being made contact.
But, as that pallid spirit radiance seeps across the vault,
it was the work of an etheric being. The sinister energies that filled this vault, tugging at my very essence.
As the eldritch forces in the vault tear at the ghostly guardian like a thaumaturgic tornado,
I am being wrenched apart, my ectoplasmic energies shredded. I must escape this evil flux, or perish.
With a furious lunge, he breaks free of that awesome aura.
I've never experienced anything like that. Those evil energies exist only within the vault. I can't utilize them to track down the one who caused them. Perhaps I will fare better at the Soames crime site.
Within moments, the spirit sleuth stares down at the looted jewel chest in the Soames mansion.
The force still hovers here, but confined, leaving me no way to trace it. Wait. Suddenly I sense an extinction of this same force, coming from another place.
As a nebulous curtain of radiant psychic energy appears to the Spectre,
the etheric being who left the evil flux here at the chest is now engaged in more evil elsewhere. For that is a consciousness curtain, emanating from an etheric body in action, just as lightning leaves a trail of ionic air to reveal its presence.
Next moment, the etheric trail leads to a museum, where...
It has the form of the magician. Jim just introduced Mona.
What's this? The spirit sleuth, known as the Spectre? If you're here on business, I advise you to stand clear of me, and I won't harm you.
I'm here on official business, all right. And you're it. And the sooner I finish it, the better I like it.
Take your ghastly hands off me, ghost! Or do I have to demonstrate my powers are far superior to yours? My stay in demonic Arkham Town served to make me the most powerful being in the universe. Nothing can withstand me, living or otherwise.
His cloak, everything about him, filled with eerie energies, repelling me. That was a neat trick, but I'll top it by pulling some startling stunts of my own.
While you're pulling, I'll pull a rabbit out of my hi-hat. Keep your eye on that rabbit, Spectre.
It's growing larger and larger.
You might call that blow a rabbit punch. Ha ha ha!
The rabbit's full of that same evil etheric energy, against which my own spectral abilities are seemingly useless.
Summoning up the powers of good with which his body is imbued, the disembodied detective grasps the ruthless rabbit, and...
Good gives me added strength, but it's only a temporary thing. Must quickly overcome that etheric body before.
Ah, a bouquet of flowers up my sleeve, bearing the sweet smell of defeat for the Spectre.
Now, for a rapid-fire follow-up of my own, hitting him hard enough to knock all that evil stuffing out of him.
It's my deal again, Spectre, as I change the name of our game.
The cards growing large as did the rabbit, and figures on it, coming alive, attacking me.
Club him, Jack!
The air is filled with the snap and crackle of etheric energies, beating the ghostly guardian.
Those cards look like big sails, and sails react to wind, so I'll blow up a storm. Slam the cards into one another.
Though racked with psychic weakness, the Spectre staggers toward his loot-happy foe.
Almost forgot what brought me here, to gather up these art treasures.
I refuse to concede his powers are stronger than mine.
If you insist on a fight to the finish, so be it.
Die, Spectre! Again!
Writhing and twisting, the vari-colored swash tines about the struggling body of the disembodied detective.
This thing is like a living etheric snake. Ugh. Getting tighter, tighter, squeezing all the energy out of me. No way to tear it loose. It's too strong for me. Is this the end? Only one part of me is still free to move.
His boot stamps the floor, and in answer to that outpouring of psychic energy, astral flames leap upward.
A spirit flame, to burn a spirit sash.
By the time the Spectre bursts free of the blazing satin,
he's gone with his loot. And since he is no longer in action, I have no way of following him.
Later, in the privacy of Jim Corrigan's bedroom,
You say you tangled with the person responsible for the impossible crimes. Well, don't just sit there. Tell me, who was he?
Dirk Raleigh.
The magician? But that's as impossible as those impossible crimes. He was at the ball all night long. I saw him.
Nevertheless, he was robbing an art museum. At least, his etheric body was robbing it.
What in thunder is an etheric body?
It's a spirit counterpart of the human body, which it resembles, and usually subject to the commands of its physical double. By changing its density, an etheric double can pass through solid walls, yet keep itself solid enough to pick up tangible objects. By surrounding these solid objects with its aura, it is able to transport them through walls. Numerous cases of etheric doubles have been authenticated. As an example, in 1774, Alphonse de Liguori, while in prison, was simultaneously seen at the deathbed of Pope Clement XIV. Respected researchers, like Dr. Ocho Rochowitz, have taken photographs of this phenomenon, which is also known as biolocation.
Okay. I'll buy that if you say so. Now tell me, how do we stop this spook crook?
That's what I've been mulling over. There is a chance that, if you hit the physical Dirk Raleigh at the same time that I hit his etheric body, we may knock it out of existence. So next time the etheric double strikes, it'll be your job to land a KO punch the very instant I do. Now, let's both get some sleep and rest up for our ordeal to come.
and the Spectre interviews Neil Adams.
Born?
Right. Hey, that first question was easy. This interview business is a snap. Next question?
I'd like to know if you're interested in drawing my comic magazine.
Sure.
Then you'd better stop wising off and answer these questions straight. Because if you don't, Editor Schwartz might not consider having you draw it.
You got me there, Spec. I'd be honored to draw the new magazine you appear in.
Ah, good. When were you born?
June 15th, 1941.
That makes you, 26.
Quick thinking there, Spec. I was born here in New York and lived here most of my life. One sister, born in the same place, accompanied me with much screaming and clawing through my childhood, and...
Wait a minute. Let's get back to this 26-year-old bit. What I mean to say is, at 26, how much experience can you have? I mean, isn't this a rather ambitious undertaking for one with so little experience?
Well, I've gotten around a little bit. For example, I did do some work for a competing company, that produces a comic mag about a red-headed, freckle-faced teenager, who will remain unnamed, when I was 18.
That must have been when you got out of high school.
Yeah, just. Out of high school and right back into high school with this kid with the weird haircut.
Well, what then?
Then I was an assistant on a comic strip based on the Bat Masterson TV series. I did background and stuff like that. After that, I entered the advertising field and did ads for such clients as Esso, Miles Shoes, Time Magazine, National Guard, Bell Telephone, Norelco, Tintex, American Machine and Foundry, Avon Cosmet.
All very impressive. But interesting as that kind of work is, there's something special needed for comics. Especially one like the Spectre. And more especially, following upon the great work of Murphy Anderson. Have you had any experience doing comics, outside of that previously mentioned?
Well, I did have a syndicated comic strip for 3.5 years.
A what? For what?
A comic strip based on the Ben Casey TV series.
But 3.5 years?
Want to hear a cool bit? If I had sold that comic strip a few months sooner, I'd have had to bring my mother down to sign the contract. Because until then, I wasn't 21 and not of legal age.
But, how could you do a comic strip and still do all that advertising stuff? I mean, a lot of cartoonists need assistants to help them, and they're just doing a single strip.
Well, it works like this. When I go to sleep, my right hand rests, but my left hand just keeps drawing.
Is that so? You know, I have a similar affliction, except in my case, my left hand is Jim Corrigan, my human alter ego.
Say, I often wondered about that. When you two merge like that, do you, go to sleep, or does Corrigan keep you awake while he's awake?
That's difficult to say. Sometimes I think Hold it! I'm supposed to be interviewing you! Now, when did your comic strip end?
About a year ago. Then I came here to National Comics.
Oh, yeah? You do work for the other editors around here?
I thought you knew. I work for Murray Boltonoff on Bob Hope and Jerry Lewis, and I work with Jack Miller on the new Dead Man and Strange Adventures. And occasionally I do a Superman cover for Mort Weisinger. And, of course, I've done a couple of war stories for Bob Canninger.
Hold it! Hold it! Hold it! With all that stuff, how could you possibly find time to do the Spectre?
You know, that's funny. That's exactly what Julie Schwartz said to me the other day, as he stood behind me at my drawing board, jingling the loose change in his pocket. He boomed down upon me with that basso profundo voice of his, like a foghorn in the night, bellowing out its rage at the fog, or some other mischance of nature.
How's the blue and the blue blazes are you going to do my Spectre story with all the other work you have to do around here?
Of course he calmed down and gave me the script after I assured him that I would use my right hand on Spectre and my left hand on the other jobs.
What? You mean you've already been given a script to work with for my mag? Then why in the spirited sorceries of Arkham am I interviewing you?
You're not, Spec. I'm interviewing you. I've got to get a little background material on you. After all, look how much of the issue I've already finished.
Well, since you already begun, try to keep my cape as straight as Murphy Anderson did, and maybe the readers won't mind the change.
Some days later, just as Jim Corrigan is about to leave for police headquarters. Mona, how nice to hear from you. When are we going to get together again?
How about Friday evening for the charity union dinner? I'm inviting you to be my escort.
Well, I'm very busy right now.
Even if I tell you that magician Dirk Raleigh is on the entertainment program?
That does it, Mona. I'll be happy to take you.
Odd. Jim didn't seem enthusiastic about our date until I mentioned that magician.
At the charity union dinner, maybe this will be the night that etheric double will make another appearance, giving Dirk Raleigh another perfect alibi. Meanwhile, the discarnate detective is following a psychic energy curtain to a fashionable jewel store on the west end of Gateway City.
There he is. Now for the knockout punch. Jim, get ready!
Back at the charity dinner,
Jim, get ready! What? It's time for double action. I'm closing in. Hurry! Get near Raleigh. Remember, we have to synchronize our blows. Strike our targets at the same instant.
please excuse me, Mona.
Jim! Oh my goodness, he's run amok!
Captain Corrigan, what are you trying to do?
Now, Jim. Now!
Ugh, he ducked under my fist.
Before Jim can strike another blow,
Calm down, man! Let go of me! I have to hit him!
Corrigan, I'm going to prefer charges against you for this unwarranted attack.
even as Jim struggles savagely to reach his quarry, the disembodied detective makes contact with Dirk Raleigh's etheric double.
Now, Jim, now! What's stopping you?
Back again for unfinished business, Spectre. All right, let's settle it. Here and now.
Jim didn't hit his man. No, I'm really in for it.
You heard a flying carpet, Spectre. Now see one. Unlike any you've heard about. It's energized to beat you to a phantom pulp.
Paralyzing my body, sapping my strength.
Though racked by evil energy, the Spectre manages to fling the magical rug away from him.
With each contact of that energy, I grow weaker. How much longer can I hold out?
From his fallen turban, the mystic magician pulls out a great gem, and,
With this ruby of mighty Thulthum, wonder wizard of dark demonetries, which I obtained in Arkham Town, shall I bring about your final doom, Spectre. Grow smaller, Spectre. Feel the rays shrink you, even as they draw you into that gem, created in this spawning ground of time and space. Once inside Thulthum's bewitched gem, there is no escape. In this manner, I condemn you to eternal imprisonment.
No more resistance powers left in me.
his foe encased within the crystalline walls of the right enchanted ruby, the evil ethericism makes his exit.
That task almost exhausted me. I must return to Arkham, which alone can renew my psychic strength.
In the long-forgotten streets of ancient Arkham, where walk the earthly shades of warlocks and wizards, and their servant demon spirits, comes one who is also Dirk Raleigh.
The evil in this place is so intense. The evil emanations so strong. I can bathe in them forever. Yeah, you demons and you wizards, seep into my psychic pores. Strengthen me against all good. Give me of your evil wills and sorceries.
In a grim old manse that once belonged to a sect of demon worshippers, the etheric being recuperates.
When I wake to serve my physical other self, I will be the most potent force in and out of this celestial sphere. With the Spectre imprisoned in the enchanted ruby, I need fear no other thing.
The world is redness in the eyes of the ghostly guardian, as he flings himself back and forth within his corundum cell.
Just as a blob of mercury can cause an object to roll about when the mercury moves, so too can I move this ruby. I can roll it hither and yon in this room, but to what avail? That diamond, Raleigh's etheric double, dropped it when I punched him. Diamond is the hardest of all substances. If I can get up enough speed, no possibility of shattering the ruby, but if I can just scratch it.
Again and again, he hurls the red gem against the blue-white stone, until...
Did it! A deep enough scratch, weakening the crystalline structure of the gem. Now to find another hard object around here.
Next moment, the fast-rolling ruby shatters against a cast-iron radiator.
This never would have happened if Jim Corrigan hadn't failed me. I better look him up, find out why.
At this moment, Detective Captain Jim Corrigan faces troubles of his own.
Corrigan, that was the most reprehensible conduct ever displayed by any police officer. You're suspended from all duties while you await departmental trial.
That's telling him, Commissioner Hackett.
Turn in your badge, Corrigan. Yes, sir. Looks like Jim tried to connect with Raleigh, but didn't quite make it.
Later, after Jim has driven Mona Marcy home, the entire story comes out.
Didn't you even try to explain why it was so urgent for you to hit Raleigh? Are you kidding? All I had to do was say Dirk Raleigh's etheric body was out robbing for him, while his physical body was here, and they throw me in the loony bin. At least, this way I'm still free to help you, if I can. No ifs about it. You help me, or I'm done for. To add to our difficulties, it'll be even harder to overcome our foes next time. Since Raleigh's been tipped off about our manner of attack, he'll do everything he can to avoid being hit by you when I again clash with his etheric self. Use all your skills now. Everything depends on you.
For the next 2 days, the suspended detective captain trails the stage magician without success until one night.
Going into this amusement park. Is he trying to have fun at my expense?
Jim, I've made contact with the etheric curtain, which reveals Raleigh's double is in action.
I'm ready for action whenever you are, Spectre. He keeps looking at his watch. Something's up, all right. I better keep closer to him.
The next moment,
Taking an airplane ride. As he gets close to the 11th hour. Gotta take a flyer, too.
"Hold it, mister, we're all filled up. You'll have to wait for the next ride."
But that'll be too late. I can't fail Spectre again.
His face etched in dismay, Jim sees his quarry spin out of reach.
Jim, I see the etheric double. Hurry, get within hitting distance of Dirk Raleigh.
How can I get close to him when he's away up there, and I'm away down here?
All set, Jim. I'll give you a 20-second countdown. At 0, Hit him hard. Just got an idea. I have a friend not far from here. 20. Ed, you've got to help me. 13. 12.
I read about your trouble with the police, Commissioner Jim. I shouldn't do it, but have an old friendship. Get in.
Shh. Aim the cannon at the airplane ride, Ed. And don't miss. 7, 6, 4, 3. Oh no! I'm gonna miss him! 2.
At the last moment,
0. Contact!
at this very instant, some miles away,
0.
after those simultaneous blows thud home,
It worked. Now to imprison this etheric body in a more escape-proof cell than the one it prepared for me.
soon after, in Wizard Ensorcelled Arkham, the Spirit Sleuth performs special rites and incantations to combat the evil emanations of the demons and fiends that flock about.
This psychic radiation of goodness will seal off the etheric body from the evil upon which it feeds. Without that evil to sustain him, he will lie inert for all time.
At police headquarters, a little later,
You can't hold me. I haven't done anything.
How about it, Corrigan? Do you have any proof Dirk Raleigh is a thief? If you hope to clear yourself, you'd better produce it. I have proof, Police Commissioner. Here's the loot his etheric self stole, which I found in Arkham. But no district attorney in the world could hope to convince a jury it was that physical Dirk Raleigh that forced his so-called etheric twin to commit those robberies. I came prepared for that. Let me introduce Hubert Desmond, first hold-up victim of Dirk Raleigh, and his etheric duplicate. He's been in the hospital ever since their robbery attack.
I'm prepared to testify that Dirk Raleigh robbed me. It's your word against mine, and I deny it. You can't deny it when you're wearing my stolen watch. Your watch? There's nothing on it to prove it's yours. Commissioner, please open the back of the watch.
Sure enough, it has your name on it, Mr. Desmond. That's all the proof we'll need to put Raleigh away.
after Dirk Raleigh is booked for robbery,
What can I say, Jim? Except that naturally your rank is restored, and congratulations on a job well done.
I'm grateful all my cases aren't as tough as this one.
To echo my other self, I'm also grateful all my cases aren't as tough as this one.
the end. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you could like, comment, and subscribe, that'd be appreciated. If you have any requests you want me to do, just let me know in the comments, and I'll tell you when I can do the request. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys later.